Hey, yes, I'm going to start every video that way. Fresh haircut, fresh haircut. Escaped. I said to the lady at Sport Clips, this is not endorsed, or Sport Clips is not going to pay me for mentioning them in this video. In fact, they're probably going to go, no, wait a minute, keep our name out of it. Anyway, so I told the lady, yeah, give me the escaped mental patient look. I think she nailed it. I'm 30 pounds lighter, 30 pounds of hair. It's gone. So today's quandary. Today's moral issue, character question. There should be no question. It's about images being generated by AI. Ugh. Hot topic. And let me go ahead and start here. Have I, just no artistic drawing, manual drawing, illustration skills, or on my part whatsoever, cartooning on my part? Have I just through description, this is what I want the image to look like, used AI, started with Midjourney. That was the gateway drug. When the whole AI image creating thing really just came out of the blue. It felt like came out of the blue to me, anyway, at least to me. It just blew up. So have I, getting back to the question, have I created images with Midjourney, ChatGPT? Well, I'll say, not really ChatGPT, kind of. I'm going to give ChatGPT a kind of. Anyway, ChatGPT, I'm trying to remember the other one I was using for a while. Anyway, doesn't matter. We'll just say AI. Have I made images, literally just typing in what the image I feel like should look like into AI image creating program, and then in turn claimed, this is mine, this is my artwork. Sadly, I have to confess, the answer is yes. I have. Got quite addicted to it for a while. I made the argument that AI art it's art. Part of my argument at the time, argument to myself, argument to whoever is willing to, come here, fight, I'm going to die on this hill, is I will use visual references to help me get there with images, with drawing, with cartooning, with I think I mentioned before, I'd worked with a lady I did seasonal work with Amazon, and as far as I'm concerned, the one and only way to draw a character of her, and you're like, I'm gonna agree, technically it's not a character, it's a cartoon, okay? But since I set eyes on her, Dee Dee from Dexter's Laboratory, so if I wanted to draw that, I say, oh, this is you, I would literally pull up a visual reference of Dee Dee from Dexter's Laboratory, and I would draw that. I don't have to look, as far as I'm concerned, I wouldn't even have to look at her. I'm going to get lots of arguments on this particular case. Guess what? Don't care. Don't want to hear what you have to say. Those are my thoughts, my feelings. And sometimes that happens with my imagination. It's because I'm ADD, because I'm ADHD. My brain just goes there. And so I would pull up a visual reference of DD and I would draw that. So the argument, getting back to the argument I made at the time is like, well, what's the difference? People saying, well, that's stealing, that's taking an image from another artist, and it's, mimicking, comicking that, and, it's technically stealing their intellectual property, and blah, and the argument I would make is like, well, I do a lot of fan art. I do a lot of fan art. I do a lot of, which I personally feel, and I'm still under the conviction, under this personal conviction, I create a lot of fan art. I create a lot of stuff I personally, that's all I got, that's my personal feelings, falls under fair use. And these are copyrighted characters. Iron Man, Wolverine, Deadpool, Superman, Clark Kent, all kinds of stuff. The Joker. I've got a Heath Ledger Joker that you can buy a print of. I'm going to leave a link in this video. You can buy it off of Mercari Marketplace. It is based on visual reference. It is my take on Heath Ledger because it's my style. And so my argument at the time was, well, what's the difference? So basically you're saying that it's, and I started to kind of understand, then I leaned really heavily into that for a while, and I'm not proud of it. I'm not. It's I'm willing to say, if you don't say it, I'll say it. It was a very shameful part of my past, and it really wasn't that long ago. So, since all this AI stuff just popped up really recently. And, but here's the thing that made me change my mind. And it was really more personal, for me than was anything else. Is that I realized I'm robbing myself. I'm robbing me. Let's not even get into the whole AI. Well, at least I'm not going to. I'm not going to get into the whole AI. It's robbing from another artist. It's stealing their intellectual property. It's, they were never asked for permission to have their, artwork modeled by these things. And I understood all that. I really did, because I kept on asking myself the question, like, well, okay, how would I feel if this was happening to me? If I knew for a fact, like, wait a minute, this kind of looks like my stuff, and AI was like mimicking it or whatever. But beyond that, like more of a deeper personal thing is, I knew I was robbing myself. I was robbing myself of leaning in and trusting the skills I've developed all these years, and trusting ultimately my imagination. So even if I'm looking at a visual reference, I'm still using my skills. I'm still leaning heavily into my imagination. So it may look kind of like whatever it is, like Survivor drawing DD. It probably looks a lot like DD, but there's going to be some changes to that drawing, ultimately because I can't draw exactly that. I can't 100% mimic it if I'm drawing with a pencil and a pen, or a Sharpie marker, which is my three favorite things. Never just good old fashioned, number 2 pencil. I've always liked Dixon. I'm going to leave a link to all these things. I've mentioned it before. For finer lines, the Pilot V5 Precise. Love this thing. Got such a thin line. And just a good old regular Sharpie. But anyway, I knew I was robbing myself of that process. I also knew something else, without anyone having to tell me, is if I stop leaning heavy into my imagination, trusting the skills I have developed through all these years, it's like a muscle. And I'm going to start losing the ability to use that muscle. And once those particular thoughts came through my head, that's what gave me some serious pause. Because if I'm really, truly honest with myself, like really, really, really down to earth honest with myself, as a creator, as a creative being, as an artist, as an illustrator, as a cartoonist, as a caricature artist, and I ask myself, well, what is it that I enjoy? Why do I enjoy doing this? Is because when I'm drawing, I'm illustrating, whether it's digitally, whether it's good old-fashioned, old school, and I'm leaning heavily into that joy, just complete and utter peace and joy, happiness. I'm in the zone. And my mom, when I was young, I would watch her. Really young, really young. Thankfully, I'm so thankful for this. I got a copy of a colored pencil drawing she made of a ship on the sea, which was typical for her. That was her favorite subject, is anything nautical. And I will tell anyone to this very day, I felt like as a kid, I could literally see the joy, the peace, the happiness, the contentment just flowing out of her when she would do this. And that was the gateway drug. And I know it's almost like, I don't think I actually like literally, cognitively said, ooh, I want to do that. That looks cool. That looks fun. But I think the idea, that's the reason I call it the gateway drug, because, just that I was hooked. I was like, maybe unconsciously somewhere, I was like, wow, I want to experience that, which I do. I get the joy. I get the just peacefulness. I get the utter joy. I get utter happiness and just peace, and just, I know I keep saying peace all over and over again, but just when I draw, and it's me drawing, that's based on my imagination, that's based on the skills I've developed, there's nothing like it. So now, going to the conundrum, back to the moral issue, back to the character issue, is I want to do a Halloween character. I want to do a cute Halloween character. We have a bunny, we have a rabbit at home, where I'm at. This is part of my home. This is just in a different berth than you normally see. I wanted to, so I gave ChatGPT 2 pictures of our bunny. We call her Mini Bunny. She is the cutest thing in the world. I'll see if I can include a picture of her in this video somewhere, so you can kind of take a look at it. I'm also going, and I asked ChatGPT to create a cute, overly cute, overly cute. Just imagine all kinds of emoji hearts, going up, down the screen. So provided 2 pictures of her. Please create a overly cute, kawaii style rabbit based on these photos. wearing a Halloween costume. And I got a really cute photo. I got a really cute image. And then I asked ChatGPT. I said, okay, thank you. Now make that into like a black and white, like a coloring book kind of thing. And did that. So now I have a choice. You've seen it. It goes back to the video of my Huion 24-inch digital drawing pad. I can literally pull that up and trace it and say, hey, look what I drew. Look what I drew. Still using my skills. And again, confession time. It's time for a confession. The lure of doing exactly that, it really is there. Instead of doing the hard work of me sketching something out so I'm going to use the black and white, coloring book thing as a visual reference. So that's my personal position about AI images. Now, it's changed. I no longer create AI images and say, oh, look what I created. No, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to be honest with myself. I'm a born-again Christian. I don't mind telling you that. If you have an issue with me saying that, I don't know what to say about that, except, I'm just being honest about myself here. I'm a born-again Christian, and God put this in my life for a reason. And he didn't just put this in my life for the reason of me skating by, of me not really being true and honest about what is actually created by me and not created by me. So if I base a sketch, which I'm about ready to start on, based on visual reference, that is a time-old tradition. Time-old. I remember seeing a book, I think it was in a library one time, and it talked about actually encouraging to carry around, are you ready for this? A box of photos of all kinds of different things, bus, people, people who you find interesting, news clippings, whatever, and that would be your little crib. That would be your whatever you want to call it, of visual references that you could pull up and use that visual reference to draw something to, because there's some amazing artists out there, and I'm not the kind of artist where I can go, oh, I want to draw this and I can immediately draw that. Sometimes I can, but a lot of times I need some help. Sometimes I need some visual reference to help me get there. And since it's a time-honored tradition to pull up an image, to look at an image and use that as a visual reference, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And then I draw something based on that. So that's what I'm doing right now. Is I am nowhere near my Huion right now, and I don't want to be, because the temptation is there. I'm unwilling to admit that it's a lot of temptation. I can create all kinds of stuff. I can create t-shirt designs. I can create mouse pad designs. I can create whatever with AI, and try to sell it. And there's a lot of people who do. For me, the personal choice I am making is to make the statement, even though I did it myself, and I'm sorry for doing so. Apologize to you, to anyone, you and everyone, but mostly I apologize to myself for doing that. So now I've got this apology out of the way, and I'm drawing a very clear line in the sand when it comes to AI images, and how I personally, I'm happy to use them as visual reference, and that's it. So I'm going to make a very controversial statement. If you don't like it, as always, what I'm going to say. I don't care. Images created by AI, and all you did was type in, what you think the image should look like, and now you now claim, oh, this is yours. This is something you created. I'm going to say that is complete and utter baloney. Complete and utter baloney. AI art is garbage. Period. End of discussion. It's a great tool. It's a great tool. I'm going to keep on using. I'm going to swear. I mean, you know me. I'm going to say a word like 10,000 times, but that's all it should be, as a tool. So that's it. That's it for today. That's where I'm at. So I'm going to get started. After I sketch this out, then I'm going to take a picture of it. Then I'm going to import that sketch into my Huion, because it's something I created. I now have made something I have created, and now I can translate. I can't talk today. I can translate that sketch into a digital drawing using my Huion 24-inch canvas drawing pad, which is my process now. That's how I do things. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. And, all right. I'm just being very thoughtful. Apologize. It's being in a very thoughtful mood. I don't apologize. All right, so that's it for today. And as always, be good. And lucky you, I am back. I'm in the hallway. Okay, you don't want that. Okay. So, this is my sketch. It's a cute bunny. Some Halloween themes there, some bats, some stars. All that stuff. Really cute stuff. So I use ChatGPT to pull up an image. I use that image as a visual reference. I'm going to give you an example of what the actual visual reference looks like later in this video. I'm going to add that on to what I'm recording right now. That way you can kind of get an idea. This is my new process. Part of my digital process is I'm at a place where I do prefer to draw manually. I just really, honestly, part of that is I just want to reconnect to that part of me actually drawing something with a pen and a pencil. This one's just on this pencil. So anymore, this is what I do, is I'll get a sketch going. I don't always do this, but most of the time I will. Anyway, so for this particular case, I want to do an actual sketch, number 2 pencil. That's what I've always used. I've never used much of anything else. And I'll put tape here and here. I'll try my best. To make it so it's kind of even, but I can fix that later. So my next step is I'm going to take a picture of this with my phone. I'm going to crop it. And then I'm going to import my sketch into my Huion 24-inch canvas drawing pad. I'm going to include a link to one in this video. If you'd like to buy one, you could do so by going to the link, and I'm also going to include some links to some other Huion products that if you want to buy them, they're there. You can, and then yes, they are affiliate links, so if you buy one, please do, and you've been considering Huion, As you want to start doing digital artwork, I highly recommend it. I'm willing to admit I'm very biased when it comes to Huion. But anyway, so I'm going to import it into my Huion tutorial. I'm going to use Krita. Krita is free. I personally would consider Krita to be far superior to Photoshop, especially if you're an illustrator, cartoonist, illustrator. I just said illustrator twice, didn't I? Illustrator, cartoonist, caricature artist, like I am, then I would highly recommend you go with Krita. I mean, free is free. Donate to them when you can, because that's how they make their money, is through donations. But it's far superior to Photoshop any day, and it's, again, extremely biased. I only have one opinion, and that's mine. That's it. Krita is more geared towards illustration than Photoshop is. All right, so that's where I'm at in this particular stage of importing this into my Huion and starting on this digitally. And I'm also going to include, illustrate it on my, ink it in, illustrate it on my Huion. And of course, obviously, I'm going to speed that up and share my screen with you, and I'll include that with this video. All right, so here we go. once again sharing my screen. I'm glad I'm able to do it once again. Lots of fun. As I said before, we're going to be doing lots more of that. And so you get to see the bunny, and the bunny is out of the hat. The bunny is in a magical hat. So like the magic. So usually the magician pulls a rabbit, rabbit out of the hat. Bunny is wearing a hat, a magical hat, and so yes, the image is based. Really want to emphasize that word. Based on a image. So I used a AI created image, but I only used that image as a visual reference. Well, and I'm going to bore you to tears. How many times is this guy going to say this? A time-honored tradition in art, carrying around or having access to visual references in order to create drawings, in order to create paintings, whatever the case may be. So I based that on a AI image, and that's the only reason. That's the only way I used it was as visual reference. And so I'm going to include at the very end. After you get done having to deal with me, you again, really? After this, I'm going to include the image that AI came up with, ChatGPT. I'm willing to admit that. And I'm going to give you some. So you're going to include some time on the video where you can see my image that I created based on visual reference. And then the AI image at the end. The rabbit, the bunny, and that I created is based on my actual bunny, our actual family bunny, who is a mini lop. And her name, are you ready? Are you sitting down? Is Mini Bunny. Mini Bunny. Mini. And that's how I say her name when I talk to her. Hey, Mini Bunny. Mini Bunny, what are you doing, Mini Bunny? So I'm talking to her. All right, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed. Please, as always, like and subscribe. Send this to lots of other people, so they'll also hopefully like and subscribe, and have those people send them to other people. All right, so that's it for today. And I know you know what I'm going to say. And as always, be good. All right, so this is the image that I created with the bunny, and this is based on our family rabbit, Mini Bunny, who's a mini lop. So we called her Mini Bunny, and this is the actual image I created based on an AI image. And the next image you'll be seeing is going to be the image that AI decided to create. So just to try to explain this, that's what you're seeing now is what I created, and what you're going to be seeing next is what AI created. All right, hope that I make that really clear.